Good evening, and welcome along to our very own living room for another edition of The Big Show here on NVTV. Hope we found you well this evening. Now, we've got another great lineup of guests, haven't we?
Coming up on the show, we have country singer Lisa McHugh, and we'll also be chatting to one of our favourite singer-songwriters, who's absolutely lovely, Conleth Kane.
As well as that, we'll be talking about holidays because, well, we're all in need of a holiday, aren't we?
Oh, we are. Definitely, we need one.
We do definitely. And we've also got a feature coming up that will make you think about how clean your house is. We're going to be talking about dust and the effects of dust with Tom McVey, who is a vacuum cleaner expert at Dyson. So that's all coming up on The Big Show this evening. But as always, we start off the show taking a look at some of the more quirky news stories of the week, and we're joined on the line from a secret location by our very own Chloe Gilmore. Hello, Chloe.
Hello, Chloe.
Hi guys, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
So we've got some quirky news this week, some very silly ones I think this week that may give you a couple of giggles.
Okay, well, we look forward to the first one, even though I do believe if anybody's eating anything right now, this will put you off your food, won't it?
100%. So a very apparently lucky woman found a lump of wheel vomit. It was worth quite a lot of money while walking along the beach. Yeah, wheel vomit. So this girl, Siri Porn Namrin, was walking along the beach after a rainstorm in Thailand, and she found this weird substance on the beach, and she went to go look at it. She said it had a very fishy aroma and concerned her. So this lady decided to grab this substance and trail it 500 meters away from the beach to her home. It was weighed 7 kilograms, quite a hefty sort of weight to tug. But it turns out that this wheel vomit, it's cost, you can get quite a lot of money for it. It's estimated to get 185k per lump of wheel vomit. And the reason is, apparently, it's used in perfume.
Wow.
£185,000?
Yeah, for a lump of boke.
So yeah, the stuff's really, really rare. It's called ambergris, and it's been used in perfumes for years. I think it's from sperm whales, and they sort of, when they eat something that's a bit sharp, say bones or whatever, this is a secretion that they get from their stomach from it. And yeah, it's used in perfumes, I believe, to help the scent sort of stay a wee bit longer.
And it's on our screen right now. If people are dying to know what it looks like, it's appearing right now. That's it. There's your woman standing proudly with her big lump of whalebone.
Do you know what I don't understand? What I don't understand is why on earth you would lift something that you didn't know what it was and bring it home.
Yeah, especially with this horrible smell to it, yeah.
Yeah, she must have had some sort of understanding of what it was. I don't know, because it was like 7 kilograms, and she was having to drag it for over 500 meters back to her house. So I don't know. A bit of a weird one.
So there you go. If you're walking along a beach in Thailand, that's what to look out for.
Do you think they have any here?
I've never seen any whales here.
Oh well.
We whales the odd time up in the north coast, but it's very rare.
So we haven't seen any whales, but I have seen a dolphin recently. We've got a clip here of a dolphin in Galway that went viral on social media this week. Have a look at this. Okay.
Oh, look at that! Oh my god. Did you get him? I did. Fantastic!
Wow, that was amazing!
So there we go, captured on camera, and of course went viral on social media earlier this week.
I'm not surprised. That's incredible.
Okay, back to the weird news stories. Chloe, what's happening next?
So you may remember a couple of years ago, there's a big scandal about this. Lots of companies were getting rid of plastic straws in their drinks. Many companies have done this. It went viral after a whole sort of ocean cleanup sort of movement was made. There was lots of, unfortunately distressing images of poor little turtles with straws in their noses and things like that there. Well, McDonald's, in fact, made the switch to paper straws. Not the best straws, I do have to say. They do get a wee bit.
I can't use them. I just cannot use them. I cannot have them anywhere near my mouth.
They turn my stomach, I have to admit. But yes, get rid of them. But you need to get a better straw.
Yeah, they're not nice.
I mean, I agree with no plastic, definitely, but they need to sort that out.
Yeah, well, here's a tip. Now, anytime I know when I go into McDonald's, I bring metal straws in my car with me. But these old plastic straws, some people have had them laying about, in their boots, in their cars or whatever, the old plastic McDonald's straws. Some people have been popping them up on eBay and they've been getting eye-watering sums of money for them. There's about 29 listed on eBay right now and they're classed as rare McDonald's merchandise, with some asking as much as £5,000 for some straws.
What?
Yeah, and they have been sold. I think one has been sold, 3 at the price of $4,500.
Now, I read that story as well. The guy claims it has. I don't believe him, though. I don't believe people have paid $4,000 for a plastic straw.
Well, you never know. Some people are die-hard McDonald's fans, and I do know there is a bit of a merchandise. There has been lots of merchandise throughout the years for McDonald's that people do collect. I don't know, is a straw classed as merchandise?
I don't know. Now, you had a car full of them until we cleaned out the car recently.
Well, if I'd have known that they were worth that, I'd have kept them. Where are they? We can make it into that bin. I'm sending them out to the bin. Because I'll tell you what, I did a clear out a couple of weeks ago.
And there was McDonald's straws from 10 years ago lurking in the car.
There was,
yeah.
I am sure people still have them possibly laying about in drawers or something, sitting about. But yeah, apparently if you've got them at home, pop them on eBay. You never know, you might get some money for them.
Okay, we're moving on to DVD storage this time, aren't we?
Yes, indeed. So a fella by the name of CEO of Dad Jokes on TikTok was posting a video and asked everyone, basically, the audio clip says, wait, does everyone have a drawer for their fridge that is entirely dedicated to cheese, or is it just me? So he opens up his fridge to show this lovely drawer of cheese, which is amazing, for the odd wee cheese and wine night. But normally when you do open a fridge, you would expect to see, your milk, your vegetables, fruit, cheese, leftovers, maybe a wee yogurt or two. But on the top little bit of his fridge, there's a whole DVD collection. Very strange. And you could see DVDs such as, 16 Candles and Finding Nemo, which is, people are baffled by this. Is this a common thing for people to keep DVDs in their fridge?
So wait, doesn't everybody have a drawer in their fridge that is completely dedicated to cheese? Just me?
I can't believe that that's what you've just said. I was wondering what we were going to be talking about there.
A DVD collection in a fridge. I'm surprised they still work under that temperature as well.
Yeah, well, I know myself that it's very good to keep film for your cameras in the fridge. And I'm wondering, DVDs or old videos, maybe that's a good thing for them. But these are Blu-ray DVDs, quite new items. I'm quite confused, condensation or something for the disc. Not ruin them. It's an odd one.
Well, there you go. We'll talk about things that could possibly be ruined. You did something this week. You put my jeans in the wash, right? Together with my wallet. Which meant she ended up washing all my bank cards and credit cards and stuff like that.
I did.
And guess what? They still work.
I couldn't believe it.
They still work.
I will tell you this, there was one day a phone of mine went through the washing machine. It was actually an iPhone, which you would think would sort of die at the first drop of water. But somehow it miraculously recovered from its time in the washing machine, took it straight out, popped it on the radiator, and it was fine. So thank God they still work though.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I mean, all the receipts were like all round everything else, so that was a bit of a bother, but...
yeah, there we go. Still worked anyway. Right, we're going to finish off with some theatre news. We're all missing live entertainment. We're all missing live theatre. And a big show is on the way to Belfast, isn't it?
It is indeed. So Waitress the Musical is doing a UK tour, and they are coming to Belfast from the 1st to the 5th of March in 2022. So you can hop onto the Grand Opera House Belfast website and check out some tickets for that. I definitely will be. I'm super excited.
I think that might have to be a little team night.
I think so. It's a show that everybody's talking about.
Absolutely. And the amount of times that I have worked with that song, She Used to Be Mine, I would like to see it now done live on stage.
Yeah. And I had a look at the Grand Opera House the other day as well. It's coming along nicely.
I was looking today as well.
It's looking good.
I can't wait to get to see something in the Grand Opera House. We're
missing it like crazy. We really are. All right, well, we'll take a little clip now to remind everybody of Waitress. Here it is. So there we go, 2022, we got Waitress to look forward to in Belfast at the Grand Opera House. Chloe, thank you for joining us on the show.
Thanks, Chloe.
For having me, guys.
Now we're going to be joined by country singer Lisa McHugh in just a moment. Pleased to say Lisa joins us on the line. Lisa, how are you?
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, guys. I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. So we're loving the new single. This was written when you were out in Nashville, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was written a couple of years ago. And it was actually the very last day of my trip. I was literally packed and ready to get the flight home. But the night before, we had one last hurrah in town in Nashville. And it was a girly night out. And one of the girls just so happened to fall for a bad boy. And no matter how many times we told her, you know, it was a bad idea, you know, it turned out a great idea for a song for us, because the next day it was something that we just had to write about. And that's where Bad Idea came from. And here it is now on radio. I'm delighted.
Do you still get excited when you hear your songs played on radio or you see it on TV for the first time?
Yeah, absolutely. It's still, you know, it's very much a surreal moment, especially for a song that you've written yourself. You know, I've known about Bad Idea and I've had it there for a couple of years. So to now have it, you know, released and everyone else aware of the song and singing along to it, and for radio stations and TV shows to want to play that, you know, it's a real pinch me moment. So I never take that for granted.
How did you find the whole Nashville experience? Because for any country singer, that's the place you really want to go to, isn't it?
Oh, I love Nashville. I am obsessed with Nashville. Do you know what? I don't even think it's a place that you need to really love country music. I just think it's such a welcoming city. There's music everywhere. There's lots of different styles, mainly country, but there is lots of different styles there. And I absolutely love it, and I'm counting the days to get back.
Would you ever leave us here in Northern Ireland and go and live there full time?
I don't think I would go full time. No, I love where I am. I love Enniskillen. I love Ireland, and I think I'll always have my base here, because I'm so fond of here and everyone here as well. You know, never say I wouldn't go over there for, you know, for music and career things, but I don't think I would move there permanently, no.
So what about life in lockdown? You've been keeping busy, but you must miss getting out there and doing the live gigs.
Yeah, it's been a long year, a couple of years, to be honest. I was off the year before that, but that was my choice, you know, through career, and I just wanted to take a break from touring. But if I'd have known that this year would have been off, I may not have done it so soon. But yeah, it's been tough. And I think for the entertainment industry, it's been really hit hard. But at the same time, I'm very fortunate. I'm very lucky. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I have a roof over my head. I have food to eat. And I'm so fortunate to have not, been in direct contact with someone or lost any loved ones over the last year, because so many have, and I couldn't even imagine, what they're going through. So as much as it's been tough, I'm very, very lucky compared to so many others. So I count my blessings for that.
You had some pretty big gigs cancelled as well. I believe there was one in the diary with Tom Jones.
It's me. Yeah, and you know what? My manager wasn't even sure whether he was going to tell me about it, because he obviously was aware it was happening, but he knew that it wasn't going to happen too. And he knew that obviously it was like the domino effect with all the other shows, and I was disappointed because we had worked so hard to get to that point and to be accepted, and offered, to perform on the likes of Electric Picnic and Kaleidoscope and Country to Country, and then Tom Jones. So I think there was a part of him that didn't really want to stick the knife in even more. But, at the same time, he was like, I have to tell you, because it's an amazing thing. It's an opportunity that will hopefully still happen. So, be delighted that you are offered the opportunity in the first place. So I have everything crossed that Tom will still want to do it and still want to go ahead with us supporting.
Well, we've been enjoying your podcast series, Lisa. You've had some fantastic guests on.
Thank you so much. The podcast was something that was actually just a suggestion to me from one of my friends. They knew I had a real passion for presenting and things. And obviously the pause button had been pressed on my music career. So I think they suggested it as just something to try. And I was a bit hesitant at the start because I'd never really looked into it before, but then the more I kind of did do my homework on it and look into it, the more I absolutely, really enjoyed it. And I wasn't expecting the reaction at all. It was something for me to put my focus into and my energy into, and to learn something new as a challenge. But, I was so lucky to have fantastic guests, throughout the first series, and they were so honest and so open, and I think everyone, could relate to everything that they were saying, which really was a great thing. So the first series went down really well. So I hope to bring back the second series very soon.
Brilliant. So tell me this: you are used to being interviewed. What was it like for you being the person asking the questions?
I actually really enjoyed it, because I think from being interviewed over the years so many times, that there comes a point where you kind of are aware of maybe a stock number of questions that are definitely going to be asked at some point. And I was conscious that I wanted to ask the questions that might not have been asked before, just to show a different side to the guest and to show more of their story. And to ask the questions that they might not have been expecting was something that I always was very conscious of. So it was very enjoyable to actually get the opportunity to be the one to ask them the questions, and for them to be so honest as well was a bonus.
Brilliant. Now, you got engaged over lockdown. Tell us about the proposal.
Well, the proposal was very much a surprise. I wasn't expecting it at all. He outdone himself. That's all I'm going to say. It was very special to me, and us, and it was a very special moment for my family as well. But yeah, we're still in the bubble, put it that way.
I'm sure you are. So have you started to look at wedding plans? Any ideas or?
Yeah, we've lots of different ideas, and that's something else that's been a bonus about lockdown as well, because I've had the time to look into all that and plan our dream wedding. So it's been fun, but at the minute I'm going to keep all them details just to myself until we are 100% sure on everything. And that's all I'm going to say.
So even an idea of dates? Come on, I'm a romantic.
Keep that to ourselves just for now.
We're going to keep that. Fair enough.
Will you have any of your country music friends performing as your wedding band?
Again, that's some more details just for me.
We're talking holidays later on in the show as well. Once we get ourselves out of lockdown, have you got any plans to go anywhere?
I just can't wait to go home. I can't wait to go home to Glasgow and see my family. It's been quite a long time now, and it's something that it's the longest period that we've had where they've not been able to come over here, and I've not been able to go and see them. So that's been tough. But you know, I'd love some sun in the bones, but I think the very first opportunity I get to go home and to actually hug my family I'll be on the first flight.
We got to talk about the new radio show as well. Congratulations on that. You're joining Downtown Radio. Doesn't get any bigger than that here in Northern Ireland, does it?
I know, I can't actually believe it. Like, the first radio show I'm being offered myself is, you know, on one of the biggest stations in the country, and I'm really, really honoured. You know, I have been lucky enough to be on Downtown Country and part of, you know, on Downtown shows over the years as a guest presenter, and also just to go on and be interviewed and speak to the presenters that are already there. And, you know, there's such a lovely bunch of people, and they're a lovely gang, and they're so welcoming. And, you know, whenever I got the call from the team asking would I be interested in the show, I didn't actually think it was real until, you know, I heard the jingle. I was like, I'm not going to, convince myself this is actually real until I heard the jingle that's now on the station. I was like, oh my God, this is actually happening. This is real. So it's a real honor. You know, I'm honored that they would have the confidence and the trust in me to fill, you know, quite big shoes that are already there. And I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I'll try.
So what can we expect from the show? Because it's not country music, is it?
It's not country music, no, and I think a lot of people would just assume that it would be. But the show is going to be basically a lot of hits from way back in the day to right up to current hits. And, you know, a real mixture, but I'm very conscious. I want to make it a real upbeat and fun show. It's a Saturday evening, 4 till 7. So I want to get you, you know, ready for Saturday night plans and pop around the kitchen, whether you're getting ready or having dinner, whatever the case may be.
Definitely.
We look forward to that. Lisa, we're going to finish off with playing another one of your songs now. We're going to go for You're Gonna Get Back Up. Tell us about this song.
Oh, thank you. You're Gonna Get Back Up. It was written a few years ago, and with a great friend of mine and someone I always write a lot of songs with. I met her in Nashville as well. Her name's Katrina Burgoyne, and we were kind of going through a phase in our careers and our lives where we felt a bit deflated, and just sometimes you feel like you're hitting your head against a brick wall, trying to make headway sometimes. And I think that was the kind of the time where we had this writing session, and we just needed that anthem song just to, you know, give us the encouragement and to reinforce the determination. And yeah, anytime I'm kind of struggling or I feel a bit down or I'm deflated about something, I put that on and I'm like, okay, let's shake it off and get back on the horse and we'll be fine. And yeah, we had released that a few months ago during the first lockdown, and I think it was a bit of encouragement for people as well, you know, I think we all kind of needed it at that point. So I was delighted that it went down.
Well, Lisa, as always, it's been great talking to you. The very best of luck with the radio show, and thank you for joining us on the show.
Thanks, Lisa.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, we're going to talk about holidays, because it's getting to that point of the year where we all need a holiday, don't we?
We do. And ever since Boris made the announcement that we're coming out of lockdown, or there's a plan to come out of lockdown, holiday sales have gone absolutely crazy.
Now, we had to cancel lots of holidays last year, but we're thinking about this year. Where are we going to?
Oh, we have to go back to Tenerife. I miss you, Tenerife.
We've got to head back to Tenerife. But right now, we're going to give you an idea of somewhere that you could possibly book later on this year or next year. What about a trip to Oklahoma or Kansas City or the fabulous Route 66? How good would that be?
Well, you would love that. You've always said that. But I'm just worried that I end up doing all the driving.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We found out all about a trip like that at Holiday World last year. Here's what happened. All right, let's talk America now. We're going to find out about Kansas and Oklahoma. The first thing I see when you look at this stand is Route 66, which is something that I think is on everybody's bucket list, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And if people know us at all, who know the USA but haven't necessarily been into the centre of the country, they'll know Route 66. And we have 450 miles nearly of unbroken, drivable Route 66 running through the two states, so it's huge for us. Also, Route 66 was actually conceived by a businessman in Tulsa in Oklahoma.
Right. Yeah.
So it has been a great asset to the state for a long time. So that would be what starts most conversations for me about the two states. But so much more than that to see and do there.
And of course, a lot of people, they may not know a lot about Kansas.
Yeah, they would perhaps know it from the movies and from Route 66, but the expectation and the reality can be quite different. Kansas gets the reputation of being very flat farmland, and part of it is farmland, but there's also a lot of rolling hills, not dissimilar to here, and some really modern and quite sophisticated cities as well. Wichita, Kansas City. Down in Oklahoma you've got Tulsa, which probably speaks for itself anyway.
Yes, yeah.
So there's a diversity about the two states that's probably not that well known, and that's what we're here for, to get that story out to people.
Everybody's always interested in food these days as well. Are they good states for food?
Yes, and for those who live there, a story nowadays is of farm to fork, farm to plate provenance of food. That makes it sound maybe more serious than it is, because down home food, barbecue, catfish, that sort of country style food is a big thing and much enjoyed by visitors. But there is a level of food knowledge and experimentation now in the two states that people wouldn't necessarily expect. So food's big. Music, we have a great music heritage in both states. Tulsa's an exemplar of that. Kansas City is an exemplar for jazz and bluegrass and all sorts of different music. So
I mean, you mentioned places like Wichita, you think of Glenn Campbell and the Wichita Lineman.
Yeah, and both states have big American Indian communities. A lot of tribes ended up there from being pushed from the two coasts of the nation into the Great Plains, and they're very lively culturally today. Can be quite wealthy, some of them as well, and very much involved in telling their story and laying that out for visitors. So anyone interested in cowboy life and American Indian life has a huge amount of opportunity to both learn and experience firsthand.
What about flights to get there? Would you have to fly from Dublin?
Dublin, you would get into Dallas. Dallas is in Texas, of course, but it's about an hour's drive from the Oklahoma state line. Most of our visitors would go into the two states via Chicago, Atlanta, New York. Connecting through Chicago, the flying time into both states is an hour and a half, 2 hours. So, I mean, there are good connections. And Dublin, with pre-clearance, is really attracting a lot of folk from here and obviously from the south and from mainland UK. Actually, people will connect through Dublin as well.
Okay, if people want more information, is there a website they can check out?
Yep, they want to look at travelksok.co.uk or .ie. That's actually an access site. There's good information about UK and Ireland access on there, but also good links through to the two states tourism sites. So, and also I'd encourage people to seek out my email address on that website. Always happy to answer questions and point them in the direction of good tour operators, good travel agents who know what they're talking about when it comes to Kansas and Oklahoma.
So there we go, one idea of somewhere that you can head off on holiday this year or next year. It looks fabulous, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
We must take a look at some more clips from Holiday World from last year over the next a couple of weeks. Right, we're going to move on to a feature now that I think once we finish, you're going to be checking your house to see how clean it is, aren't you?
Yes.
We're talking about dust. Yeah. We're going to be chatting to Tom McVey, who is the Floorcare Innovation Engineer at Dyson. I'm going to be talking about some new research just out that tells us about the lack of knowledge we have on household dust that, of course, can be detrimental to our well-being. Let's find out more because Tom joins us on the line. Tom, how are you, sir?
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Robin. Yes, very good. Thank you. Yeah, you?
Very well, thank you. So, Tom, let's start off by talking about dust. For people who don't know, what exactly is dust?
Yeah, this is a fascinating piece of research from Dyson, and it highlights quite how unaware lots of people are about what's in their dust. Household dust is a complex matrix of particles. It includes lots of the things you can see and that you're aware of, things like bits of mud and larger debris and hair. But also lots of things you can't see. So things like skin flakes, dust mites feces, but even bacteria, viruses, molds, small insects. So a whole range of things.
So really, how dangerous is dust then?
So, I mean, Dyson aren't a medical body, but lots of academic research suggests that house dust mite feces are one of the most important inducers of allergenic diseases worldwide. So it's clear that some of the microscopic components of dust can impact our well-being.
So how important is it then to keep our houses dust-free?
Yeah, so I mean, it's important to keep on top of cleaning regularly. Again, lots of people are quite unaware of what's in the dust in their homes. So 20% of people in the UK were surprised to discover that things like bacteria and viruses are present in household dust. And only 3% knew that dust mites and their feces can be found in dust. So it's really important to keep on top of vacuuming regularly, for example, to minimize our exposure to those things.
So, of course, we're learning so much about viruses these days as well. We've got the coronavirus, we've got the pandemic at the moment as well. Can viruses like that travel through dust in the home? So
there's not enough evidence at the moment to talk about coronavirus specifically, but particles as small as viruses, as small as 0.3 microns, are definitely found in dust. And so it's particularly important when you're using a vacuum cleaner to make sure that it's got really good filtration, because otherwise you're pumping that dust back into the air you breathe, essentially. So it's really important to make sure you're filtering that dust out when you're cleaning.
Tom, can you give us some top tips on cleaning dust?
Yeah, so I guess my top tips are don't just focus on the dust you can see. Like I say, dust is made up of lots of things that you can't see as well. So get in the habit of vacuuming and cleaning kind of regularly as you can, as little and often, ideally. Secondly, when you're using a vacuum cleaner, make sure that you use all the accessories and settings that it comes with. They're all there for a purpose, and they'll help you get into all those kind of nooks and crannies around your house, down the back of the sofa, even cleaning things like your mattress or your car, for example. And lastly, dust mites thrive in warm, humid conditions. So keep your home kind of cool and well ventilated as much as possible.
Tom, tell us about your role at Dyson. Obviously, all the time you're looking at different ways to upgrade your vacuum cleaners and coming up with more innovative ways of doing things. How's all that evolving at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. So my role as an engineer at Dyson is designing and developing new technology in our floor care category. So it involves a lot of kind of simulation and modeling, as well as testing of prototypes in labs. And throughout that process, it's quite easy to kind of lose track of the real world situation and the real world dust and things that products will get exposed to. So it's research like this and lots of other research we're doing that really helps us to make sure that our products perform really well in a lab, but also perform really well in your home and clean thoroughly and filter the dust from the air you breathe.
All right, well, if somebody was going to go out today to buy a vacuum cleaner, what kind of advice would you give them on what type of vacuum cleaner to buy?
Yeah, good question. Like I say, the filtration is a really important part. So Dyson have 6 layers of filtration to help capture those really small particles we were talking about. But good suction power is really important too, making sure you're drawing dust out of things like your mattress. So dust mites have little claws, they cling on to things. So making sure that you've got a product with really high suction with a boost mode or something to really help you draw those small particles out of your floors and your mattresses and so on. And like I say, making sure it comes with a good range of tools and accessory really help you to do a thorough clean around the house as well.
Well, Tom, thank you so much for joining us on the show. I'm off now to clean the office. Thank you. Right, definitely got to go and dust the place down now, haven't we?
Yes, definitely. I'll help you, Robin.
All right. We're going to have some more music now, aren't we?
Yeah, here's Conleth Kane with his new song, Flourish.
Time has come for me to flourish. I feel the stars have aligned. I feel the time is right for me to blossom like a flower in the sunshine. No more fear, no more doubt, no more tears on this day. Only light will come our way. I will try my hardest to fly. No more thunder or gray clouds in my sky. I feel that life is short, and that tomorrow is never promised to no one. I feel the time is right for me to soar like a shooting star in the night. No more fear, no more doubt, no more tears on this day. Only light will come my way. I will try my hardest to fly. No more thunder or gray clouds in my sky. And every time I feel that one door closes, I find another one to open. Because the fire, it burns inside of me, and I'll keep hoping. And every time I feel my dreams are shattered, I keep looking through the glass. This won't last forever. It will pass. No more fear, no more doubt, no more tears on this day. Only light will come our way. I will try my hardest to fly. No more thunder or gray clouds in my sky. In my sky. No more fear on this day. I will try my hardest to fly. No more thunder or gray clouds in my sky. I feel the time has come for me to flourish.
So there we go. That is the great new song from Conleth Kane. It's out now. It's called Flourish, and I'm pleased to say that Conleth joins us on the line. Conleth, how are you?
Hi, Conleth.
I am great, guys, and it's so great to see you again. I can't wait to see you in person. I'm sick of this Zoom malarkey.
I know.
We need to give each other big hugs, don't we?
I know. Okay, do you know what it is? As annoying as it is, we will never take things for granted again when we get normality back. It just makes you reevaluate life and look at everything so differently. And maybe we were taking things for granted before. Well, we probably were. I know I was. Now that in hindsight, looking back over everything, I cannot wait to get back out and do what I love and to see people in person. It's going to be great.
So we heard the new song Flourish there. You've been singing it all week, haven't you?
I have, Conleth. I absolutely love it. Really love it. I think the words are amazing. No more fear, no more doubt, no more tears. You're speaking to us directly. We all feel that. We're all saying exactly the same thing. So tell me, where did you get your inspiration for the song Flourish?
Wow. I wrote this song back in 2018. Oh my God, I've never really spoken about this before. This song was written against Simon Cowell.
Right.
So I was brought in to do X Factor in 2018, and just to cut a long story short, the show brought me in, and I got the Susan Boyle style audition, 4 judges on their feet, all of Wembley. I thought, oh my God, I've won the X Factor. My life's going to change. And then what they did was they put me together with a 250-piece choir. So the choir, I sang in front of the choir. So I got the 4 yeses from the judges. And as I was walking off stage, Simon Cowell called me back on and said, I've changed my mind. You're not going through as a solo artist. I want you and the choir to become a group. So it's you with the choir. Right. And I thought, right. So I can't even believe I'm going into this. I haven't really spoke about it before. So I was so flustered on stage. You know, you're in front of 7,000 people at Wembley, and all of a sudden the scenario flipped on its head, and I was through as a soloist, and all of a sudden they want me to be in a group. And then we just got into the wings, and the choir didn't want to be involved with the show anymore. They just wanted to be part of the audition process and perform at Wembley. They didn't want to enter as contestants. The producers got funny. It all got a bit heated in the wings, put it that way. And then I just walked. I got home that evening, and I was like trying to process everything, going, "Oh my goodness!" Like I thought I was going through the X Factor, and the show brought me in. Then they flipped the pancake on its head and did that big evil television twist and wanted me to be part of all of that. And I got so angry that I got up the next day and I wrote Flourish, and I just wrote, and that's it. No more fear, no more doubt, no more thunder or grey clouds in my sky. I wanted to write a song of positivity to help me through that. I was actually quite angry. I was angry at the show. And the thing is, I had no control over editing. And I thought, how are they going to show this? So I got really anxious over the next few months about how it was going to be portrayed. And thank God that my elbow wasn't even featured in the series. So I got completely binned. So it was a stressful few months. Because once you sign up for something as major as that, you have no control over the outcome. So the only thing I could control was writing a song, and that's when Flourish happened.
Wow!
Yeah, we got an exclusive there.
That's the first time. Delighted. I'm really sorry you did go through that, though, Conleth.
And of course, you did do the reality TV thing before. I remember you on the RTE Fame show as well.
Well, this was it, and the whole thing was I that was enough for me. I enjoyed that, but that was me. I was done with the reality TV thing. But then I got approached do you remember to be that one of the judges on that All Together Now, but had those 100 judges?
Yes, yeah.
Oh yes.
You remember?
Yes.
So the BBC. So I got asked to do that, and then the X Factor came along, and why I was so cross with the X Factor is because the X Factor poached me from the BBC. Then I had to go to the BBC and say, I'm going with the X Factor because they are on paper the bigger show.
Yeah.
So then when I got so messed around, I thought, not only have you messed me around, but you've taken another great opportunity away from me. So that's why Flourish is so. I know it sounds so dramatic, but I I write my best songs when I'm at my most emotional. And Flourish, my catalog of music, I write when I am at the tipping edge of my emotions, a song flies out. And Flourish just happens to. And what I love about Flourish is, you know, you can hear, like, you know, all the Celtic flavors, and you can hear where I'm from. I'm really proud of being from Northern Ireland, and I infuse my Celtic heritage and all of that. Like, I grew up listening to the Corrs and all of that, and I love infusing my influences into my sound today. I want to carry on that kind of sound through into today's pop music, because I think there's a big lack of it. To be honest, I think everything these days just kind of merges into one, like all that pop production. And I just love live instruments. I love music. I love real musicians, and I'm really glad you like the song. That's made my day.
So we're talking about holidays on the show as well this week. So once we're allowed out of lockdown, we're allowed to go on holiday. Where would you like to go to?
Well, I've actually meant to be going to visit my brother in San Francisco in April, because obviously last year you think, oh, I'll book to go to my brother for Easter 2021. Sure, it'll all be done by then. Sure, this time last year it was 3 weeks to flatten the curve. So I thought, oh, it'll be grand. So what we've done is my mum and I have shifted the holiday from April to October. So I always fancied America at Halloween. When I watch films like Hocus Pocus and stuff, I'm like, I really want to go to America for Halloween. So just dress up and like run around being a kid, trick-or-treating with my nieces and nephews. I can't wait to do all of that.
Yes, and I think you'll definitely be there in October.
I think so as well. I've got a wee week in Spain booked in August. Now, I think that's, you know, going to be hit or miss, if I'm honest. But, you know, I think I think the travel industry will need to open this summer to some degree, because we can't just let every single industry drown and dismantle, because it's now about people's livelihoods and people's security and mental health. And this is now morphing into something much greater than it was last year. You know, obviously it was a virus, and, you know, doctors and medical teams and everything had to learn more about the virus. But actually, as it goes on, it's, you know, it's morphing into something much greater. People's mental health is so traumatized at the moment, and I think the further we go, people need to be at work, people need to be motivated, people need to have something to look forward to. So I'm really hoping that come August, listen, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm used to disappointment at this stage, but if it happens, great. I can't wait. It'll be fun.
Okay, Conleth, we're going to finish off now with another one of your songs, this time Emerald Isle. It has an absolutely stunning music video. That must have been fun to do.
Okay, that was nice. Oh, no, actually, it wasn't fun to do. What am I talking about? that video was anything but fun. It was 25 degrees, and now that's hot for Northern Ireland. It was August, and I was home, and I'm wearing a black turtleneck and a green velvet suit, and we had to walk to the top of that mountain in in Newcastle, Slaved Honoured. I'm there with the video director in DMs, by the way, and we're walking up the mountain, and I'm in this suit, and I have no hair, so the sweat was just pouring down me, and this couple were walking down towards me, and I went, "Excuse me, how long is it to the top?" She just looked at her partner. She went, "It's about 2 hours." I'm like, why did I suggest the top of this mountain? So me and the video director walked. I was in a suit. And actually, there's another really funny bit of that video. Do you know the bit with the waterfalls behind me?
Yes.
So we did a camera technique where you film it double speed, so that when you bring it back, it looks like the background's in slow motion, but you're actually, so it's like you have to mind yourself, but it's chipmunks. So it's like, so I was doing that in front of this waterfall, chipmunks like, and this football team walked past, and I'm like, I'm like, of all the moments, I'm stood in front of a waterfall singing to myself as a chipmunk, and sweating like crazy. What am I doing? And it was just like, this is so awkward. And they were just standing looking at me going, what's he doing? I was like, I don't even know. I don't care anymore. We're halfway up this mountain. Let's just do it. So when I look back on that video, I forget, and then I go, oh God, yeah, the filming wasn't great, and then
All right. Well,
and the bit on the water, where I'm in front, I sank. So I was sinking and sinking. So by the time we finished that shot, I was like quicksand trying to get my foot out. So it wasn't. You guys will know. It's the magic of theatre, and people don't know what goes on backstage.
So yeah, we got another exclusive there.
I'm so delighted.
You guys have got quite a few exclusives today.
Well, it's a great way to finish the show. Conleth, thank you so much for joining us. It's been great talking to you as always.
Oh, thanks so much, guys. And I really can't wait to see you in person, and stay safe and well.
You too.
So that's all we've time for on the big show this week. We're going to finish off with Emerald Isle by Conleth Kane. A thank you to all our guests this week, and we'll see you back here same time next week. Bye-bye.
See you next time.
On the soil of Ireland is the home of my mom and dad. A place they raise their children, a place their children left. You let us spread our wings, and we flew like queens and kings from your hands to foreign lands. One in Melbourne, one in Sydney, one in London, and one in San Francisco. We might be miles apart, but the Emerald Isle is always in our hearts. One in Melbourne, one in Sydney, one in London, and one in San Francisco. You'll never be alone, for the Emerald Isle will always be our home. On the coast of Ireland, the waves play like a band. On the seas which we flew over to our homes across the world, you let us spread our wings, and we flew like queens and kings to foreign lands with golden sands. One in Melbourne, one in Sydney, one in London, and one in San Francisco. We might be miles apart, but the Emerald Isle is always in our hearts. One in Melbourne, one in Sydney, one in London, and one in San Francisco. You'll never be alone, for the Emerald Isle will always be our home. On the grounds of Ireland, we will always proudly stand, and the memories we will cherish till the end of the road. You let us fly away, but we think of you each day, our mom and dad in Ireland. One in Melbourne, one in Sydney, one in London, and one in San Francisco. We might be miles apart, but the Emerald Isle is always in our hearts. One in Melbourne, one in Sydney, one in London, and one in San Francisco. You'll never be alone, for the Emerald Isle will always be our home.